Paul is positive of nothing. I don't believe in anything, and I am positive of nothing.
A false positive.
Oh,
Did that deserve an awe?
I don't know. It sounded cute. I'll be honest. Like, I feel like I'm kind of like, if you just send anything to me that's going to give me a version of Paul or Kevin in any sort of, even
that
if it's
deserves
like,
an awe. That is an awe moment right there, Chad.
Yeah. Oh, well, see, it works. It's an awe echo. It's a chamber.
It's just sweet.
Chamber of awe.
We've entered the chamber of awe. I love when an episode starts like this, and we haven't even started the episode yet. But I love, and I feel like this has happened a lot in the Kevin era. Is we sit down and one of us makes an emphatic statement about the book we are about to discuss, and someone else goes, "Gasp! I believe the opposite of that."
So. Welcome to Goosebuds.
I had a feeling in my bones, in my coal sense, as like, I think I know where Kevin's going on this one.
Wow, I didn't expect it. I did not.
Just we'll get to that, but like, have you guys ever like something that you think your friends maybe don't like?
Oh yeah, I mean that was like my entire childhood. And
you're like kind of concealing the fact that you like the thing from them, but you hope by dropping like enough like little hints that maybe you'll sway public opinion on the matter.
You're gonna just slowly incept the love of that thing.
Yeah, it's like, another Ben Folds song came up on my iPod Touch show. So weird.
Hey, this Britney Spears CD came in my collection. Well, since we might as well play it.
Kevin's a little younger. Kevin, were you entering these years, like the early teen years, with an MP3 player?
These years.
I didn't have one until I was about halfway through high school.
Oh, okay.
A lot of my friends had them, but I think like we got one for my dad who loves music, and we got him like the early iPod.
Like a Rio. Oh, we got him an iPod. Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listened to music on my PlayStation Portable. Thank you very much.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, you still had MP3s, though. You still had MP3s.
Yeah, that technically played MP3s, but it had about like 100 megabytes of memory.
So like 10 songs went on there, and that was it.
Yeah. I made mix CDs forever.
Yeah,
yes.
Same, dude.
Yes.
Mix CDs with custom stickers of Gundam wing art on it.
Whoa, you had stickers on yours?
Yeah, it wasn't like printed well, but you run that through you get little sheets at Best Buy, and you run it through your printer, and here's 7 Incubus tracks. I hope you like it.
I was going to say, did you ever give it to a special lady with a Gundam sticker on it?
I wonder if I kept the Gundam on, or maybe I put like, I wonder what Gundam I would have put on there. They would have put like Lena Barnum on there, if that's even her name.
I don't know. I believe it.
I was at a wedding recently, and I ran into somebody from high school, and she was with her husband, and she was like, "Do you remember back in high school?" And I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh Christ!
She's like, "You made me a mix CD."
Oh
yeah. Oh god, it's getting worse.
And she was like, and it had like Dashboard Confessional on it.
Yes.
Oh, you had feelings, didn't you, Kevin?
And then she leaned in and whispered, "I always loved you more."
And Bright Eyes. And I'm like, yep, put all kinds of crazy stuff on.
I sure did like some old music. I made a couple mixtape for girls. Mix CDs for girls I liked.
Uh-huh.
With I sure think that you're going to realize that these tracks are me telling you how I feel. Either completely going over their heads, or them going, "It's best if I just don't acknowledge this."
Yeah, they leaned away. They did the opposite of leaning in.
But the soul-crushing thing would be like, you give it, I mean, I feel like this is the epitome of the time you'd hang out. You give them the CD, you're in the car, you're driving to like Steak and Shake,
and
then they're like, "Well, listen to the CD now." I'm like, "Okay, I guess listen to the CD now."
Oh no, you're like, "No, this was supposed to be you at home alone, not with me."
Yeah, you're supposed to be home alone. You're supposed to be thinking about how you wish you had someone in your life, and then you listen to this.
You think back at the beautiful moments we just shared after I gave you the CD, but before you listened to it, and then you remember them while listening to the music.
And you're drunk on cheese fries. It's the perfect formula. But then. And then you listen to the CD and you see them skip tracks.
Oh, that's terrible.
Ooh.
That's terrible.
I have that still in my head. Like listening to a song, a couple like, oh, this is good. I want to see what the next one is. I'm like, no, every song was perfectly structured.
You're supposed
to tell a story
you're
of
supposed
our
to
love.
savor every second of this. Every second you're supposed to savor. No, and the flow between songs. Come on.
I always thought that was one thing that was probably lost in the era between mixtapes and mix CDs. Mixtapes were a lot more like you listen to the whole thing. You could fast forward, but you're not really going to do that because that's just shooting. You know, you're blind, stumbling in the dark, trying to find the next part of the song.
Everybody loses then.
Yeah.
I asked about the MP3 player, Kevin, because you said, "Oh, this Ben Folds MP3 came on," and I was like thinking about how in that case, in that type of period of your life where you're trying to feel out the things you like and not feel bad about them, you have a far lower bar of commitment. Whereas I remember growing up and being like 12, right? And like you bought the CD and I had it in my Discman and the people around me saw the disc in the Discman. So if I was embarrassed of what was in the Discman, I had pure shame because they knew that I went to Clover. I went to Clover and bought it at Clover.
What's Clover? Is that like Fry's?
Yeah, you guys probably didn't have Clover. I don't know how regional that is. It was like a Kmart.
Okay. Clover
was great.
That's fun.
It's Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, so you guys definitely did not have Clover. Clover was fantastic.
Paul, I feel like you're not addressing that if you ever made a mixtape for someone.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
I can't remember a time that I made a mix CD and then listened to it immediately with the person. I don't think I ever did that.
You don't want to do that normally.
No,
that's a bad idea.
That seems harrowing.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
You want to get the text later. Like, you want to get like the call or the text later.
The AOL instant message.
I want to hit that little AOL door opening going, I loved it and I love you. And yes, Fall Out Boy is a very good band.
I don't know if Spotify like hits different or whatever, but like the fact that a CD was like a physical thing that was a little labor intensive.
Yeah.
You had to burn all your songs to a computer.
Limited space too.
Limited space.
I
bet it's still a thing. It has to be. That's like human to make make a mix CD.
It's still there. I'll share like I make like Heidi, the girlfriend, and I make playlists for each other all the time on Spotify and send them to each other.
That's nice.
And it's very sweet. We get very excited when we're like, oh, I've been working on this new one for you. It's a bunch of songs you're gonna like.
Aw. And
it is. It's a sign. It's a sign of display of love. But I do think that there's something missing about that. I don't know. You're pouring it into a physical state, right? Like. That CD, that's a CDR. You can't rewrite that.
Right. I only have 100 on my spindle at home.
Oh my god, those fucking spindles. Like I don't know what the new modern version of that is. Like my first thought was legitimately making like a Minecraft monument because like that takes some time. But even then, you can delete that server. So like, what is the?
Oh man,
like 3D printing something for someone? Like I don't know.
I mean, I guess you just go back to like, you know, the classics like poetry and chocolate.
I was gonna say like buying a guitar and sitting outside and playing the song on the guitar for them.
Oh no, you have to learn an instrument now. Love is over.
No.
That's why the population is decreasing because people don't want to have to learn how to play instruments to love each other.
I'm really glad that listen, I'm not glad the population is decreasing, but to bring it back to early Goosebuds discussions.
Oh, we didn't have to do it, Chad.
Well, we talk about like
the culling.
I was leading the charge. There's too many people.
Yeah, we talked about the culling,
which was a fun thing to talk about in a fun way, and then the real world got too dark.
Yes,
where I no longer wanted to talk about actual cullings.
Yeah,
I was like, well, that's about to happen.
Are you saying culling's back on? Like we can talk about the culling again? Because
culling's not back on the menu, but I think it's more like, oh, we as a generation are just so goddamn bone tired. We're doing our own culling. You know what I mean?
Self-call.
If you got a kid out there, that's great. You got the energy. I can't imagine doing that.
No one wants to pump a kid out when the fucking climate change is just going to spawn camp them.
Oh my god, that's wow. Wow, he's
I'm
right.
picturing a little like environmental ozone gremlin, like the Noid, waiting in a waiting room, just like ready to go. I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, I'm like imagining like the TF2 sniper in like a cloud sitting outside of a hospital, just picking off kids.
Never had a chance.
He's using Girardi on those kids.
That's dark. That's dark, and I love it.
If I could sign up for an Insta-Kid, like hey, you come out of the oven aged 13.
Like a prefab child?
Yeah, prefab child.
Yeah, like pre-vetted for shitheadness. Like he doesn't, you're not getting a shithead. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a whole lifetime's worth of good school lessons in you, and now we're just going to play video games.
I think we talked about this and in one of our video game nights, and I said the perfect parenting situation for me was a Terry McGinnis situation.
What's that?
In Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis is the one who picks up a cowl of Batman.
Okay.
So you are old Bruce Wayne at that point.
Yeah, you're old man Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I love that.
A Terry McGinnis shows up, and you're like, no one else can be Batman. But then you see a spark of potential in the young lad, and you're like, all right, you can be Batman. Do you have a dad? And Terry's like,
So
I think a radioactive man killed him. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to burn bright and big at the end of your life for somebody else, and then go out and then leave them with that. Okay.
Well, but also you get to be like kind of fun grumpy, where you're just like, you shouldn't do that. I'm going to stay in here and drink tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My dog
See,
Ace.
I agree with you guys. I think a prefab kid is a great idea. But part of the I think the fun of the kid is like infusing them. Is the infusion. It's like making a pickle, right? It's like, oh well, you can buy a pickle. You can buy a great pickle off a shelf, right? You can buy any old pickle and it's a good time. But if you make your own pickle, you can be like, a little clove would go nice in here, like a little, maybe, hell, I'm going to throw a little cardamom in these pickles. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's what you get to do if you have your own child. So you miss out on that. You're going to get someone else's pickle.
How about, I think that's, how about this, Paul, in this fantasy sci-fi world?
Okay. All right. Keep whatever you do, keep this pickle related.
Yeah, sure. No, it's going to be in a jar. It's a big kid in a jar.
Okay.
It's like that movie Rent a Kid that I vaguely remember watching as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's prefab kid.
Mm-hmm.
You get a protoform, much the way the Transformers arrived in Beast Wars, where they had not assigned an allegiance, and both Maximals and Predacons were fighting over who would get them.
Yeah.
You have this default blob child.
Okay.
And then there's like a growing season. Let's say 6 months.
Okay.
You order it in the summer, you're going to have a kid by Christmas. And while the kid's in the jar, there's like a little TV. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry to see the put in. You're really delighting me here. I want to make a Hallmark movie with the two of you called Kid by Christmas. That's this premise. Just so you know, we're going to do that. Carry on, Chad.
Sure, yeah. It's all these exact beats of it. And so I agree. I think part of the imprinting your interests and your expectations for life onto them is very important.
Uh-huh.
And so, as you're going by the jar every once in a while, there's like TVs playing, very much the way that Blanca was created in the Street Fighter movie.
We all know it. We all know that classic scene.
Yeah, but we all know that classic scene where Blanca's just in a chair watching violence, and instead you're like, oh hey, I'm gonna put on Battlestar Galactica here. All right, you start watching Battlestar Galactica. All right, you come out here, we'll talk about it. What do you think about the Final Five?
Hey kid, here's how you learn about 9/11.
Okay, so back to the pickle metaphor briefly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, you and I cook quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, I don't know if you cook as well.
I cook sometimes. I don't know why I'm so defensive of it. Yeah.
I know you're famous for the Chad sandwich.
Yeah, I know you, Chad. I know you nailed the perfect sandwich once and hung it up.
I've never needed to make another thing.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. We can't all live like that. Go ahead, Kevin.
I don't know if you retired from the game after that, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you cook for yourself, you make exactly what you want, and it's just kind of fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes someone cooks something for you, or makes a pickle for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is an amazing pickle. And I could have made a very similar thing, but it wouldn't have tasted so good because someone else made it for me. Therefore...
Oh, man. We have answered some deep philosophical questions about parenting in this 10-minute pickle analogy that we've had.
Therefore, in order to have the best possible Terry McGinnis scenario,
Mm-hmm.
you should be constantly trying to pair your favorite friends up.
I love it. I love it. Make me a Terry McGinnis.
Yes.
So that they can make the perfect pickle Terry McGinnis.
Kevin, I have been living my life like that already. Anytime I find someone wonderful and they're alone in this life, I go, would you like another wonderful person? And I always try to do that. And now I realize why I've been doing that.
But then you're also like, you two should get together and have unprotected sex and also get into like cliff diving.
Yeah. And while you're doing it, show that kid that you had from the unprotected sex this list of movies, this list of songs, read them these books, and do all that.
Yeah, make sure they listen to all these things that I like.
Yeah. Just do what my uncles did to me and just leave a Super Nintendo at their place. And then wait a few years and suddenly the thing makes games.
We were hanging out with our nieces and nephews, and I know we got to get to the book, but I just want to say, like, I was thinking about doing that. I was like, is the oldest nephew, is he ready for me to be like, yo, kid, here's Metal Gear Solid, check this shit out?
Oh my god.
You know? Like, because at some point, like, you're at that perfect age where you play Metal Gear Solid and you're like, fuck, I feel all of this. I feel every second of this.
Meryl.
You need to feel things when Snake's being tortured. What do you think about it?
Do you care about Meryl, kid? Do you care about her?
So did you do it?
Not yet. I'm going to.
You gotta drop the Metal Gear to get the Pickle McGinnis guy.
I'm giving him a laptop. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some emulators on there, and I'm going to seed it.
Oh, yeah.
And guys, this is it. This is the new mixtape. I am going to be like, yo, here's an emulator. Here's how you play the games. And I put on bomb-ass games. Check out these 20 games that I put on here. Play them and have a good time.
I am in full support of emulators. I think they're super necessary for the preservation of old video games. But can you imagine how much cooler mix CDs would have been if they were also illegal?
Oh my god, yes. Well, they were, actually.
Were they not? They were illegal.
Oh my god, they kind of were.
They were illegal.
There was like definitely some legal rigmarole over CDRs being a thing.
We did a lot of crimes.
We did a lot of crimes. You know what's a crime is how underappreciated this book is.
Oh,
God damn it. We read Werewolf Skin.
Ugh.
A visceral title.
A visceral book with viscera inside of it.
And somehow maybe a tamer book cover. Only in the way that Tim Jacobus drew it made it seem like a very silly furry outfit.
Yeah, it was kind of a cute cover to this one.
Yeah, this is the rare instance where a Goosebumps cover, I think, lowers the scare value of the book.
Yeah, this cover is packing for Anthrocon.
Yeah. I like when you put it that way, I like the pennant in the back that says wolves. It's like a little more sexual now that you said it that way.
You know, now that I look at it, there are a bunch of posters for those Alpha and Omega movies.
Look at the picture of like a werewolf on vacation by the lamp in the background of it.
Let me see this.
Like it's just the werewolf back there is like, sup? Like just doing like a little selfie like back there.
Yeah, wait, what's going on? Why is this whole room filled with wolves? Dial back a little bit.
And what's going on? What is going on with the lamp? What's all that stuff there? What's all that Matrix-ass stuff that's underneath that? You know what I mean?
This is definitely a Tim Jacobus did not know what the plot was going to be and just drew, I guess it's werewolf fur in a box. I guess you buy it. It even says werewolf costume. You can read on the cover it says werewolf costume.
It does say that. And there's a truck that's also like a old-timey car, like an old-time like a prohibition car truck back there too going on. What's that all about?
Well, as a big twist, this book takes place in 1920.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We you know what? We're gonna start just throwing out the twist right at the top from here.
Yeah. Well, there are twists in this book. Did you guys see the twist coming from
every
like a mile away?
Every time. That's what I think I disliked about this book was I was like so far ahead of Alex the whole time that I was just upset. And even the ending. Now, the ending, okay, I'll say this about the second twist at the end.
Yeah.
Are there two twists?
Yes, there is a second twist. Well, the first twist, Chad, it's so not a twist. It's so obvious that I could argue that it could not be a twist.
It's a twast.
It's a twast. The last one pissed me off because I knew what was happening, but I felt like it was violently thrust upon me at the end.
It was. It did. It insisted upon itself.
I liked the violent thrusting. I don't know what you guys had against it.
Someone please make that a quote for the podcast. I liked the violent thrusting, Kevin Cole.
Yeah. I legitimately liked how it ended. It was a darker ending for a frankly stupid kid.
One of the stupidest kids I think we've encountered in this entire book. He's so stupid. He's so stupid, and that is I think what just drove me crazy. And look, I'm not one of those people that's like, I don't like it when a character is stupid. Like, I think a character can act incredibly stupid. Some of my favorite video game, movie, book characters, the dumbest people I know. And I love them.
Of course.
But this kid, we'll get into it. Here's what I'm going to say. I think we did ourselves a massive disservice by going and reading A Day at Horrorland.
Then going to this?
And then going to this because I feel like, I don't know about you, Chad, but I feel like this entire journey through the Goosebumps discog has been me trying to reattain the feeling I had during Horrorland.
Yeah, we're chasing that fucking high all the time. Yeah. Which is why I'm excited you said this, Paul, because I think this entire book that I did not care for very much is a metaphor about drug addiction.
Woo, we got a metaphor in this one. I love that.
I think the werewolf skin is heroin.
Oh my God. His beatnik aunt and uncle who looked like weirdos from according to their clothes.
I.e. hippies, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
I caught on a little bit to the drug addiction undercurrent, which you could read it that way. I think I might like this a little bit better than Horrorland. I just want to say.
Wow.
Kevin, I love you. You have lost your mind. I love you.
Kevin, I am with Chad because nothing happens in this story. Like, things happen, but nothing compelling happens in this story.
Well, let me explain myself.
Okay.
Please.
I like how limited and clear the dangers and the characters are in this. It seems like it's very, very trimmed down. Mm-hmm. There's one setting, there's one kind of scare, which is I'm out in the wilderness and something is chasing me, and we spend a lot of time there.
There's one location.
There's one location in the woods, which is a good location to have the scares in.
Yep.
There are two kids, and there's two other kids who don't really matter. And it's just everything is in very clear focus, which is a camera pun I threw into my little spiel about this. The main character enjoys cameras. That's his one trait.
His his only defining trait, and he loses his camera by just being like, "Oops, forgot about it in the woods."
That's Alex. Alex is our main character. He's stupid. He loves cameras, and he's very clumsy and fearful.
Mm-hmm.
I liked hanging out with Alex. I didn't think he was overly stupid, but I thought he was stupid enough to be the main character in a Goosebumps book.
Yes.
I think that's a valid point, Kevin, in that one of the things in the pro column of this book to me was Alex. I know other ones have had drives, but like Alex at least had a clear goal of like, I'm into photography. I'm very into photography.
Yes.
Which I'm like, I had several friends like this. It was usually 2 very intense weeks where they were into photography, and then they realized it wasn't for them.
Right.
But like he is down to take photos. He's a indoor kid who's excited about being outside, so that's already like crazy to me. And he's like, I think there was like a Halloween contest or something where he's like, I need to take a spooky photo.
There is a great MacGuffin that's leading you through this, which is the horror themed photography contest for sure.
We basically got in this. It's a very lean book. Alex Hunter is our protagonist.
His parents have gone on vacation the business trip for 2 weeks to France.
Yeah, business trip.
To France.
We're going to find out there's a secret like spy organization, like Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events, where just like all of these parents are just going to international meetings to talk about how to do.
I would have loved to know what his parents. I mean, I think you're probably right. It was probably spycraft is what they were going to do, because they didn't say anything about what they actually did.
No, I also noticed, this might be nitpicky, but that like they are willing to fly suddenly to France, which means they are buying very expensive tickets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what do we do with their son? He's got to ride the bus.
Sure.
They put him on the cheapest bus to Wolf Creek that they could possibly afford.
With the grumpiest bus driver.
Who was down to leave them at the bus stop, which totally real.
He's like, "Is your ride here?" And then before the kid could answer, he had closed the door and was puttering off in the
He
cheap
did his due diligence. That dude's being paid like $2 an hour. He's right. Not enough to be a fucking babysitter.
He's right. He's not a babysitter. Kevin's right. I take it back. I'm on the bus's side now.
We're on the bus.
We're on the bus.
So, the two people taking care of him are his uncle and aunt, Colin and Marta.
And they're wild and crazy. Uncle Colin loves to drive like a madman. Which is another trait.
They're one light town.
The one light town, and he misses it, and almost kills them. And it's okay. Here's the thing. We're reading Werewolf Skin, guys. It's about werewolves. We know we're going into it. RL was not trying to obfuscate. This is not a camera obscura that he's trying to pull on us. Where
good camera pun.
I had to pull a pun out. He's not trying to camera obscure us as to what's going on. We know there's werewolves, right? And they're driving in the wild and crazy van that Uncle Colin has, and Aunt Marta is Aunt Marta. Sorry, I'm saying it like a Philadelphia person. Aunt Marta is explaining the town to them, and they talk about, I think they get to the topic of that there being danger in the woods, and they get to the topic of there being danger with their neighbors. Do not mess with our neighbors. And Alex just wants to know what's going on and begins to ask questions. And every single person in this town has the worst poker face I've ever seen in my entire life. Every time Alex gives them the slightest bit of pressure as to like, asking a question, the first inquisition that he makes upon them, they clam up and they're like, ugh! And Colin tries to run them headfirst into a truck, basically, to try and get out of answering the first question that Alex asks.
Yeah, totally. That stuck out. It was like my favorite dumb thing about this book was Alex. You're right, Paul. Alex is not even digging.
No.
Like he is just la 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 la. I'm gonna take some photos. You guys have some photos we can take? Yeah. And then his aunt's like, don't bring up the Marlins. And then or whatever. What was the name? The neighbor's name?
The Marlings.
Yeah, Marlings.
Marlings.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Don't bring up the Marlings. And then Alex going, who's the Marlins? Don't talk about the Marlins. It's like they are springing it up every time.
They lose it, and it happens with them. It happens with Sean and Arjun, the two kids that don't matter. It happens with Hannah, the next door neighbor. Everybody has no fucking chill. They cannot chill.
Yeah.
This book was the serious version of my favorite joke from the Dewey Cox Walk Hard movie with John C. Reilly, where he walks in and Tim Meadows is like, get out of here, dude. You don't want any of this. You don't want none of marijuana. It's not addictive. Like, it is purely them just saying all of these things to Alex about, it's werewolves. Don't ask questions. There's so many of them. Stop asking questions.
It's werewolves. It makes sex even better.
Probably does. If True Blood has taught us anything, yeah, it does.
We brought up Hannah briefly. I think she's an interesting part of the book because we haven't really seen, or I haven't really seen like this overt of like romantic tension in a.
Well, speaking of the romance, the Aunt Marta and Uncle Colin bring her up, and they're like, she's very cute, and I love Alex's response, which is, any boys in the neighborhood? And I was like, oh, Alex, all right, that's cool. We got a little bit of a change in our main character. I like it.
Yeah, but then Alex, the bi disaster that he is like, all right, she is pretty cute.
the bi disaster.
The awkward 12-year-old boy he is, Alex doesn't know what he wants.
Yep.
He just wants it all, baby. Who's dealing?
So, like, this book also does a lot of, like, just throwing out werewolf lore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not throwing it out like, oh, you need to know this, but going like, these are not how werewolves work that you're used to.
Although they do have, like, the most fucking hilarious exposition scene I think I've ever seen in any media.
Now, in what part was that?
Which one are you thinking about?
So later on, when he goes to school.
Yes. Oh, yes.
The 6th grade teacher crosses his legs and is like, so let's talk about werewolves.
So, hey, guys, you know what? It's almost Halloween. How about werewolf info dump? You want one of those?
Yeah.
It's like, now who can tell me what lycanthropy is? That's right. It's the study of werewolves. It's like, what the what kind of Buffy ass Portals 101 fucking teacher is this?
At that point, by the way, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure that everyone in this goddamn town is a werewolf. But this really telling me that everyone in this town is a werewolf.
Yeah, in Wolf Creek, where they have, literally everything is named after a wolf in this town, I'm pretty sure. And you did bring up the teacher, and I just want to drop this. It was Mr. Shine. That's Mr. Stein, right? That's just...
Whoa!
That was Mr. Stein. So? That was RL's most honest self-representation that he's thrown into the book, I think, so far.
So when RL said that Mr. Shine was pear-shaped, he meant an upside-down pear, like really buff and top-heavy.
All that extra weight in his head, his big smart head.
Where do you work out? The library.
So Alex is told like a couple of things that don't really like. Do we even get to Halloween in this?
Yeah, we do. The last bit's Halloween, but before that, basically what happens is he shows up at his aunt and uncle's place, and like not 10 minutes later, Hannah like kicks down the door, being like, "Hi, I'm your manic pixie dream girl." And Alex is like, I guess I'm the protagonist.
Dashboard Confessional starts playing.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm quirky. Let's go to the woods. And then they do.
And then they do.
And Alex takes pictures of a tree that looks like a butt or something.
Yeah, Alex takes photography 101 pictures of a tree.
Yeah.
And then two children's show up. Sean and Arjun show up.
Yep.
And are being Goosebumps kids.
Yep.
Yeah, can we give a shout out to Arjun for being possibly Goosebumps' first Indian kid?
I think so.
They don't beat around the bush there.
Yeah, see, that's the weird part. I'm like, oh, cool. Different representation in the book. But then the book stops and puts all the brakes on of Alex going, wait, Arjun?
He talks about how he can't pronounce it right. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's not even an audible medium. We don't even have to touch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just strange because I was like, the fact that you're shining a light on it makes it not cool. Like, it makes it not interesting.
I thought the Irish kid's name was even more fucked up. His name's Sean Kiner. Like, what the hell kind of name is Sean Kiner? That's a serial killer name. That dude did time with Whitey Bulger or some shit.
But they are just, normal town bullies. They like to scare Hannah. Hannah has that great retort of like, your face always scares me. And then they're like,
they just laugh it off.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We're leaving. Goodbye. We have very little impact on this story.
So, again, Alex's defining tribute, besides his bisexuality, apparently, is his defining tribute is his love of the camera, his love of his camera. And it is tested in this moment. Well, again, this is a well-placed moment to remind you, hey, this guy loves this camera. This is the most important thing that this kid has, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we're made to believe that, they throw it back and forth. There's a little bit like classic bullying moment. Hannah saves it for him and gives it back to him. Real nice moment for him and Hannah to bond.
Yep.
And then they go home.
Real nice moment where a girl type saves a man type or a boy type from bullies. I thought that was an interesting little Hannah has a little more power in that scenario sort of thing.
This is a great moment. This is a good moment in the book. But then he goes home and eats dinner and is going to bed, and he sees a werewolf outside of his house. He fucking sees the werewolf, or maybe not directly sees them, but he sees some weird shit going on in the Marling's house. And he's like, well, better grab my camera so that I can take a picture of it. Oh, shit, my camera's not here? Where's my camera? Oh, no, I must have left it in the woods where I really cared about it, and it was the most important thing to me.
Guys, he's 12. You're telling me you never lost your most precious possession at the age of 12?
You know what? When I was like 4, I lost my Hulk Hogan finger wrestling action figure in the bread aisle at the store, and I got it back. Guys.
Wow.
Nice, dude.
Wow, that was about to be the saddest story I ever heard if you lost that.
Nope, I got it back. Just had to make sure you guys knew that, because it would have been sad.
Glad, dude. I'm trying to think. I feel like my parents put probably an irrational level of fear in me about losing it.
You're not going to get another one. You don't get a replacement.
Just felt like I did more the equivalent of like an RPG where you hoard all your revive potions. I was like, I can't ever use this. This has to stay clutched in my hands. It'll never leave the house. Okay, got it. Won't enjoy it.
Stays in the toy chest in box. But he loses his camera, and I that bothered me. I did not like that defining feature of Alex is forgotten. I did not like that.
Well, I think you have to be a little bit of a dum-dum in order to make horror happen. So I was willing to forgive that.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's fair.
That's an interesting...
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially as a child, Kevin, because usually the way it happens in a horror movie is horniness gets in the way, right? Horniness or drugs gets in the
way. Yeah, but RL can get away with having characters that forget stuff or are childish or are like overly emotional by making them all kids.
Yep. I did think it was interesting that the first instance of viscera is described by Sean and Arjun as a murdered deer whose head has been ripped clean from its body, and is described in pretty horrific detail. And I thought that was interesting because I was like, okay, this is RL's way of putting something extremely graphic into this book. And if our child Alex is imagining it, it's okay, right? He's just imagining. Yeah, he's not seeing it; he's just imagining it. But I was proven wrong later when he doesn't indeed see some actual animal viscera. So that I was
there's plenty of physical clues that are interesting, right? There's that. There are paw prints leading back to the Marling's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There is a torn like drapes in there.
Yep.
Which I took to be like, oh, those are the Marlins being murdered. That's how I read that as.
Okay.
Nope, that's just ripping up the drapes and some classic werewolf sex.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, there were multiple times where you'd hear a howling, and now I'm wondering if it was a different type of howling. Yeah.
Well, and you heard the howl go from human to werewolf because the moment that they climax is when they shift into werewolf form.
Oh, that's probably like werewolf version of edging.
Yeah.
It's like you try to get the climax as you shift.
Wolf me, baby, wolf me down.
God forbid you do it wrong, and then suddenly like one of you is a human, the other one's a werewolf, and it's just like, oh, this feels wrong.
Now we've slipped into bestiality, and that is not what we were intending.
Is this about the time that Alex, like, he's at his house, and this is maybe, I think, one of the scarier moments of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's already snuck out before, and his uncle and aunt have said, don't you go out.
Yeah, so he does sneak out after he forgets his camera. He finds it. I think in that time he gets hit in the head with a bird's nest, which I thought was a funny moment. Of just...
That's at the next sneak out. And
that's the next one. That's not the first one.
Yeah, so what happens is Alex goes to school where they have werewolf class, obviously, and Arjun and Sean are like, well, let's show you a real werewolf. Like, we're gonna show you a werewolf. Meet us here at midnight. And he's like, okay, I guess my not parents told me that I shouldn't sneak out anymore, but yeah, I'll meet you at midnight.
Yes.
And then when he goes to sneak out, he finds out his door is locked and there are iron bars over his window.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty scary. Like you've been captured without you knowing.
Yeah, that is terrible. That's like some Saul shit, right?
Yeah, and he misses he misses going out there, but it doesn't matter. They were just pranking him.
Yeah.
But the next day he's like, hey, Guardians, what the fuck? Why are you...
Yeah. What's up with that? What's up with locking me in?
And they're like, well, we told your parents we'd keep you safe. And, you know, the Marlings are calling and they're like, say they're crazy and they call the police on you. And we're just trying to keep you safe. We're just trying to keep you safe.
And that's how all fascism starts, right? With a cry for safety.
Yeah. Followed by a howl.
Followed by a howl of anger and violence.
There's also, I think, a moment in this section that I thought like could have been pictured very creepily, at least the way it was described. And that is after Alex has snuck out a couple times and his aunt and uncle have been like, you haven't been, you know, going out hunting for werewolves, right? Mm-hmm. Then it's like when Alex has to then do gardening with his uncle. Sorry, maybe that was a beat later, but there's something where like they're suspecting him, and Alex describes like while they're having to use the weed whacker, which is brutal. Ugh, the worst part of gardening is using the weed whacker.
Says a man who just got a lawn.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I had a lawn mowing business, and weed whacking was the worst part.
Yep, I worked landscaping. Weed whacking wasn't that bad. Sometimes I got to use a machete. That was fun.
That's cool.
Well, see, that's probably why it was fun. But
that's fun.
But while he's whacking, he will look over and see his uncle just not working and staring at him coldly, as if considering. I'm like, oh, that's kind of scary.
That's creepy.
Kind of creepy thing.
There's creepy moments in this book. There's creep here, but the problem is, I think the creep is punctuated between moments of extreme banality.
Well,
damn.
Yeah. But like some of the banality is kind of creepy when you think about it. Like Hannah dressing up in like a ragdoll outfit.
And then like dancing for everybody in the ragdoll.
And then dancing for everybody while Marta sings a song about ragdolls. And that's supposed to be a fun family moment.
Yeah, we're supposed to know what the ragdoll song was. I was like, I do not know what you're talking about, RL.
That was not in my neck of the woods.
That part was genuinely concerning to me.
That was weird. That was a real weird. And this sounds like we're doing a bit, but it's a real moment in this book.
I actually forgot about it until you brought up like, oh yeah, there was a fucking dance scene.
Yeah. And I do want to say that the scariest part of being locked in the house to us was being locked in the house, but to Alex, it was the fact that he was locked in the house. But the fact that he was going to have to tell people that he was locked in the house, which I thought was a perfect look into peer pressure and fear of your peers as a child.
Oh, it's insightful, Paul.
Because he was very he was very nervous about it. He was like, I can't tell him I didn't go out because I was locked in. I'll look like a total dweeb. And he like tries to lie to them, and then they just reveal that they didn't do it anyway.
Yeah.
By the way, have we covered the most important detail, I feel like, about the lesson in school that when I talk about the lore?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
They say early on, a werewolf can turn even if it's not a full moon.
Right.
And that werewolves gain their power from their werewolf skins. Things that they put on to... or they described it weird, where when I read it, my first interpretation of it was that like a normal werewolf, they transform and then they leave behind their werewolf skin, like shedding it.
Like they molt the skin.
Like they molt. But what the book is actually saying is there is a costume that you put on to become a werewolf.
In RL's universe, like to become werewolf, you need like 2 ingredients. One is your werewolf skin, which is sort of a thing you kind of like eject from your body when you're bitten when you're bitten by a werewolf.
Right.
So like, you're bitten by a werewolf, you become a werewolf, and then, like, when you turn back into a human, you poop out your werewolf skin.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Then, when you combine your skin with the light of the moon, I know they said the moon wasn't necessary, but they did also say the moon enhances werewolf powers.
Sure.
So I think, like, skin plus you plus moon equals now you're a werewolf.
It seems like there's a lot of work to become a werewolf in this world.
Yeah, yeah. And if you burn the werewolf skin, you kill the werewolf.
Wait, did they say that? I missed that completely.
They do say that. They do say that. And the best part is, at one point, Alex considers it and considers killing his aunt and uncle.
And Hannah's like, hey, wouldn't that, like, kill them? He's like, oh.
Which makes sense for Hannah to be asking questions like that. That is... I am so fascinated by the concept of the werewolf skin in this book.
Chad, I'm just saying this one has metaphysics in it, all right? Like, I don't think this one is as tossed off as you think it is.
All right, I want to get to the kind of turn because just that idea.
Yeah.
But I think the next part in the story is Alex has seen two figures leave the Merryweather's house. Marlene's house, and they describes them as dressed in capes. And it was like, ooh, capes, that's fun. And then they transform into wolves and head out into the woods. And he follows, which is fucking bold, because I don't know. I feel like that's one of the hardest monsters to sneak up on is a wolf.
Yeah,
like a werewolf.
Dog creature that has abilities to smell and see and hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All their senses. Big senses.
Big senses.
And I think was also really interesting. It didn't really have a big payoff for later, but like he is taking photographs of werewolves.
Yeah.
He is getting like
Pulitzer.
Pulitzer. He's gonna get the Pulitzer for this. It's a big deal. It seems like.
And he's like tracking them, and like the werewolves catch a baby deer, and he's like, oh no, they're gonna kill it. So he howls.
Yeah, he counter howls.
Yeah,
which is wild.
Yeah, which distracts the werewolves long enough that the baby deer escapes. And what I think will factor into my theory at the end of this later, the wolves kind of look at each other and like shrug and go, I don't know. keep going on. And we're told that there are no wolves left at Wolf Creek, Lake, wherever we are. Like,
right.
We're told there are no wolves left. So maybe they're just like, oh, that was just Frank.
Oh, just another werewolf out there.
Yeah.
Which also, like, if you want to make a cover for yourself as a werewolf town, tell people there are wolves out there. Maybe do say there
sure are lots of wolves in these woods. You should, and you're trying to keep people out of the woods, right?
I mean, they do say there are things in the woods. Like, they do try and be like, hey, there's some stuff going on in the woods. We haven't really cleared you with werewolf council yet, so maybe don't go out into the woods at night, although you will be doing that every night you're here unless we lock your door, apparently.
Yep. Dude, they like prime this kid. They're like, don't go in that house. Don't go in the woods at night. What do you think the kid is going to do on his 2-week fucking hall pass from his parents? He's going to go crazy. He's going to go wild.
These are all just minor tests, Paul, because you're either a sheep or you're a wolf.
Oh,
stuff that lock full of bubble gum.
It's a coming of age story. All right, okay.
Yep. So he follows the wolves all night. They chase him for a little bit, or so he thinks. Then he gets hit in the head with a bird's nest at some point.
And then remarkably, in the dark, makes it his way home through the woods, which he's lost in, which is incredible.
A good survival flip, if I may quote an upcoming RPG.
High bushcraft.
Yeah, high bushcraft.
Space King.
Spacing set space.
The space.
GiveKevinMoney.com.
And he makes it home, and he sees like muddy tracks leading up to the window of the Marling house. And then when he gets home the next day, he notices that Colin and Marta, his uncle and aunt, are quite cross with him.
Oof.
But it's Halloween, and you can't be too mad on Halloween. You can do yard work, but Halloween's going to happen. So he goes to Hannah, and he's like, the Marlings don't exist. The house is empty, because he looks in the Marlings' house, and it's empty. And that's the big twist. There are no Marlings. And then, as the reader, all of the little delicate hints that RL has gently peppered throughout the work.
Masterfully laid out
throughout the work.
Those start sparkling like diamonds.
The tumblers begin to drop into place.
You are having anime-style flashbacks. It's a clip show in your head of every little moment. It's all coming into perfect focus. And Hannah's like, you're right. They are werewolves. What we should do is we should steal their werewolf skins.
Well, sorry to bump into you. This is where Alex is like, maybe we should kill them. And she's like,
yeah.
Backpedal from the kill. Why don't we just steal them?
Yeah, she's like, it's a good plan B. But
let's not do it yet. Let's not escalate to murdering your family.
But like going off of Chad's like their drug the drug addict theory or reading of this,
they found their stash.
Yeah, let's take their stash.
Yeah, and we'll forcibly make them go cold turkey.
Yeah, and because we don't want them to find it or someone else to take it, we'll wear the werewolf skins, right? Because that's the best way to go about this. Yes. They'll be our Halloween costumes. Even though I painstakingly put together this ragdoll costume, I'm willing to swap out.
I'll throw away all this work.
Yeah. So they steal the werewolf skins and wear them as costumes, freaking out children as Cullen and Marta begin charging after them, screaming, "Give us our skins!"
That is the greatest scene in this book. Okay, sorry, second greatest scene besides when he says he wants to murder them. The second best scene in this is where they're literally, and he says that happens like that. They're chasing him down the street, screaming, "Give us our skins!" And it becomes almost a ritual chant that they're screaming.
Every paragraph is an italicized, "Give us our skins!"
Give us our skins!
Yep. If you've ever been waiting at a restaurant for some loaded potato skins, you know the feeling.
You too have been in this. You know this feeling. You've lived this.
Yeah, you know the cravings that are going through these people at this moment.
You know the skin fever. You've had the skin fever, and you know the only cure is to give me my skins.
You want
give
more?
Me my skins.
Can we talk about how like they put on the werewolf skins and like, they're really tight? I'm like, they were for adults. How big are these kids?
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of being implied that the skin forms to your body. Maybe,
yeah, because she says give it a little bit and it's more fluid. Which is wonderful to think about wearing essentially a human skin suit.
I think a competent director could make this into an incredibly terrifying actual film.
Like this. I mean, we could probably need to check out the TV show to see what they did.
I'm sure they did not competently make it into a terrifying film. So I think someone could do it.
I think with a gold star script like this, I think anyone could turn this into something good.
So what happens next? They are being chased by...
Hold on. Oh my god. I gotta say something that I called because I knew what was happening in the story. You knew that they were you knew they were werewolves. It hasn't been revealed yet in the story. I don't believe. Well, at the point that we're at in the story, yes, you know. But I'm sorry. I'm jumping back to a point before Alex truly knows. Before he sees his aunt and uncle get out of the suits and is like, oh fuck, they're werewolves. There is a point where he sneaks out and he knows that they know he snuck out, right? And I think, or maybe when he's afraid that they know what he did, and the aunt is on the phone in some psychopath shit, having a full-on conversation. So all she needed to do was go, "Oh, I'm sorry. He tried to come into your house. Okay, I'll hang up now." She has like a multiple back and forth fake conversation with the Marlings about how. Oh, he's spying on you? He is not spying. She's having a full psychopath conversation.
She's doing the pause and listening as if someone's on the other line. I had not thought about that, Paul.
It's scary.
Yeah. It's scary in hindsight, for sure.
This book's good. This book's good.
Wait, hold on.
Right? Yeah.
Hold on.
This book's good.
I think you guys just have to do what I did, which is be a little hungover and not call the twist immediately, because you're a little hungover and you're not like blazing through this book and your brain isn't going on like full octane. You're just like kind of reading through it, taking some stretch breaks, and then being like, oh shit. What if there are no Marlings?
I mean, I think that's valid, Kevin. I just want to talk about. So I think we're at the point where they burn the skins.
What?
No, they don't burn the skins. They don't burn the skins. They do not murder his aunt.
Wait, what do they? They don't burn the skins. They just hold on to the skins.
They forcibly make them go cold turkey by
yeah, that's why the drug thing was like very much hit. So they just hold on to the skins. And then he watches his aunt and uncle scream in pain.
Yep.
Coming down from a massive high and withdraw. And then they're like, I'm fine.
Oh,
I'm fine.
I feel great. Thank you. I love you.
Great. Curse is lifted. oh, I guess I just needed one bad night. I just need to get it out of my system. Thank you. And then they're like, let's go have brownies and get some ice cream. And the curse is lifted.
So maybe it's less like heroin and more like coffee.
That's pretty much it. It's getting off coffee. Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe soda. Maybe quitting soda.
It's about an addiction of sorts.
Yeah. It's like it's a caffeine addiction. That's all they had.
I guess I should, you know what, I'm not willing to say this book is good yet.
Okay. I've seen the light.
I did just keep thinking about this fucking concept of werewolf skins and how much they talk, like, how much to me an idea of being a werewolf is a curse and it's a burden. It's never something that you, like, sought out, right? It's like you're out in the woods hunting and then a werewolf bit you and now you have the curse.
Mm-hmm.
But they never get into, probably wisely, where werewolf skins come from. I don't know if you pick them up at the store.
That's my question.
What.
Like, how did they come in possession of this curse? Were they just trying to have some freaky sex, and that's what this led to?
You produce the skin when you become a werewolf. When you're bitten, then you turn into a werewolf, and that makes the skin.
It is a molting situation then.
Yeah,
but it's your one molt. You have to put the skin back on.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
That's even grosser.
It's so weird. And like, because at first I was like, oh shit, they drop a whole skin every time?
No, it's just the first time you get bit, you get a nice jacket.
You get your Letterman's jacket. You get your letter.
Yeah.
And you're in the club now. Got it. You can
Within
wear it all the
3
time.
to 4 weeks, your werewolf skin jacket will show up, and then you can put it on. You can go out and do werewolf shit.
I know we don't usually do this, but can I read the last part of this book? Because I actually like the last part of this book. So Marta and Colin are healed of werewolf. Werewolf has been cured and purged from their body. Alex and Hannah are still wearing their skins, and they go back to the Marlings to change out of them now that the day is won. I started to tug off the heavy wolf skin, but something near the closet caught my eye. I stopped and walked over to it. A folded up wolf skin lay on the floor against the wall. Huh? I let out a startled cry, and I turned to Hannah. How can there be a wolf skin in here? I asked. There were only 2 of them, right? You put one on, and you gave one to me. Hannah stepped up beside me, her eyes locked on mine. I didn't wear the one from this house, Alex, she said softly. I used my own. I just got it last night. Huh? I cried. I don't get it. You will, she whispered. She knocked me to the floor with her heavy forepaws and sank her teeth into my chest. That's how it ends.
So the kid dies.
No, he's werewolf.
No, I know he gets werewolfed. I know.
Oh, I actually read it as he dies. I mean, I read it as you get eaten.
Teeth sinking into chest is pretty violent. I mean, that's gotta fucking hurt. Even if you're living through that, you're gonna have a nasty scar.
Cool. I mean, one.
Well, with the letter jacket, it's gonna look great too.
Oh yeah, dude. Can you imagine having a scar that's like a wolf jaw bite mark right across your chest? That'd be TNT, dude.
Yeah, that's true. He's not gonna have to make a mixtape for anybody.
I so read it as he died there that she had been like, I'm like, I guess she's like been fattening him up to eat him. It's also a weird move to play.
She just turned the night before. Okay, so Kevin, what did you realize about the attic scene? I thought you were gonna say that's when she was turned, but that wasn't the night before, right?
Yeah. So that cleared up for me. So there's a scene where the first night when he goes to get his camera, he hears something in the attic, and he goes to investigate, and it's Hannah up in the attic, and he's like, "I'm coming up," and she's like, "Don't, I'm naked," and he's like, "Okay." I'm not coming up then. It's kind of a funny rom-com-y moment for 2 12-year-olds, and then he goes off into the woods to get his thing. I thought that was a lie and that she was in wolf form.
That's what I thought too. I was like, Chad, like you said, I was like, or maybe it was Kevin, you said this, that I was like, everyone in this town is a werewolf. That's what I thought at first. And then I slowly started realizing, oh, it's just the aunt and uncle. Aunt and uncle.
I think you can say aunt. Like I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna, like, that's a valid pronunciation for aunt. I say aunt.
No,
sometimes.
it's a stupid way to say it. I've been trying to fix that about myself. So I'm just working on it.
Wait, what word did I miss?
Paul's apparently beating himself up for saying aunt instead of aunt, and I think both are acceptable pronunciations of the word.
It just feels like to me, it feels like a very Philadelphia way of saying it, and I try to break any of those Philadelphia-isms whenever I can.
Well, now I'm in my head about it.
Oh, great. Podcast ruin.
I still think the whole town was werewolves.
I still think the whole town's werewolves too, yeah.
Yeah, it makes the only reason it makes any sense for the teacher to be talking about werewolves and all of this. We all know how this works here in this public school system.
Uh-huh.
I also didn't. It's interesting, Paul. You're saying that she had just turned. I took it as like, no, she's been a werewolf this whole time as well, and just been like hiding it because I don't think does she go out in the woods with him at any point where she should be changing.
No, she goes home just before dark. She never goes out with him.
She's been a werewolf the whole time.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and the kids and the bullies too.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't go out at night either. So you could also read this as like a puberty thing, because like werewolf's hair growing up, like getting big, eating elk in the woods, that sort of thing, going out at night.
Oh yeah,
werewolves have a lot in common with puberty. You could sort of read this as like a like puberty encounter for Alex at the very end, where like he becomes a big
for
hairy.
Sure.
He gets his first kiss. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I mean, you could read this. You could read this as a rom-com, and like it ends with his first kiss, which turns him into a monster, aka an adult man, or it's his first step towards becoming a monster.
I have become a monster.
Yeah, I took it as he got killed, but I like it a lot. Picturing it being it was more just you got brought into it because that makes more sense of like when I was trying to think of the end game of Hannah's attempt to, we just talked to your aunt and uncle and we're all about to go get ice cream and now I'm going to eat you. I'm like, that's going to be pretty hard to cover up there, Hannah. Like,
that's what I got.
They're going to find out, but I guess if she's just turning them, I guess that's like,
that's what I need to know is end game situation here, because why all the secrecy if everyone's a werewolf and we're all going to be werewolves and we're just going to turn our nephew into a werewolf and we're going to get him back to his parents like that. What's the end game here?
I think I already solved that one for you, because remember I said you got to separate the sheep from the wolves? They put him in a cage and he escaped the cage. They were wolf testing him. And he passed. Okay. All of these little things were like little tests to see, one, are you curious about werewolves? Two, are you can you escape a cage? Because that'll happen to you if you're a werewolf. Three, will you put on a werewolf skin? Yeah. Like all of this stuff is a test. And he passes and becomes a man-wolf person.
Sure, I'm on board that theory. I
don't like the book again. I'm off the book.
I just really was so thrown by the curse. Oh, we just needed someone to get it away from us. Like we just needed to not put it on for a time.
I don't think they're tormented. I think they're fucking with him. I think it's a Halloween prank done by a bunch of werewolves.
Yeah, it's more of that scary psycho bullshit that Aunt Marta was doing when she was on the phone. It's more fakery.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like, oh, ow, oh, it hurts so bad. Oh no. Oh, we're fine. Yay, ice cream.
I'll make you donuts in the morning. Cool.
Like they know their own kin. They know he's a dumb boy. Like they don't have to act that hard. They're just like, okay, well, now you're a werewolf, dude. Like I'm glad it was Hannah. Like they're trying to set him up with Hannah, and Hannah's the one who bites him. Maybe they're like, well, maybe Hannah can turn you into a werewolf because it's a bit weird for us to bite our nephew.
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm saying I'm off the book again. I think.
Wow. What turned you?
I was feeling it where I was like, okay, there are scary things in this, but it was too much. I was just reading it and I was like, I don't care about anything that's happening in this. Like, I get his motivation. I get Alex's motivation, but I don't know. It wasn't working for me. I don't know what the end game is. I think I'm with Chad. What's the end game here?
Puberty. in my reading. Drugs and chads.
Honestly, the addiction thing helps the book contextualize a lot more, and I don't know if we're just giving the author credit. By the way, I've been meaning to share with you boys, like, I am coming more and more around to our understanding of the first 16 books being RL books and the rest of them being other ones, because I can't tell any difference between any of these. Like,
I don't know, dude. They eat chicken soup in one scene, and that's an RL staple.
And it dribbles down Aunt Marta's chin.
And he loves writing that soup. Is that a staple? The chicken soup?
It's in Legend of the Lost Legend. Yep. It's in a lot of them. Like, chicken soup is always there.
Loves that chicken soup.
It would also be so easy to just take a draft and go, the parents aren't eating spaghetti, they're eating chicken noodle soup. Done. Send to editor, my weird fetish is in here, or whatever.
In the My Best Friend Invisible book, the aliens are very distinctly not eating chicken soup, which is a tell that they were aliens the whole time. I like this book. I know it's got its trubs. It's a little obvious. The characters are a little flat, but I think it knew what it was, and I think it got a little subversive, which I like.
Sure.
Not enough to be interesting to, like, an adult person.
Yeah.
But maybe enough to, like, kind of stick with a teenager or preteen or something.
A preteen. I think that's my thing with it. Is, like, I was reading it and I was like, oh yeah, as a kid, like, I don't know, maybe I would have seen the aunt and uncle being werewolves, maybe. Or maybe I would have, like, picked up the Marlings thing, but I was reading it and I was just like, I don't care. I don't care about this kid. I don't care about him getting his picture, and I don't care about him being friends with Hannah or any of the other kids in school. Get him the hell out of here. That's how I felt. Get him the hell out of here.
Wow. Paul, a mad king, drunk on his own power, says, send the boy away.
Send him away. He does not entertain me.
I'll put this in the middle tier of books. I found the hook somewhat engaging and interesting, but also, yeah, like I said, the end game tripped me up.
This is definitely not in the bottom tier of books, for sure. This is a middling book, and I think that's my problem with it. Okay, ultimately, my problem is it's a middling book with glimpses of actual good book inside of it that that does more to make me long for the book where it's all that. You know what I mean? It makes me long for the Horrorland where it's all good stuff, and it just wasn't enough true horrors. There were some little moments, but nothing transcendent.
Damn, well said.
I had more fun in this than I had in Horrorland, and that's just down that's just down to personal taste, I think.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
I thought Horrorland wasn't terribly focused, and I thought its ending sort of like cut it down. I think the ending for this is a big part of why I like it. I think it ends on a very strong note.
It does.
And I like the rom-comminess of this, and I don't mind that Alex is a dum-dum.
I like Alex more than other protagonists.
Yeah. He's not malicious. Like, he does lie and he does sneak out and he does all this stuff, but it's usually either in pursuit of glory or stupidity, and I kind of respect that.
Yeah, he does go after glory, and then he wants to protect his aunt and uncle too. He does that at one point where he's like,
that's very true.
Yeah,
but in the back of his head he's like, but I'll also be famous. I'll be famous. If I have to kill them to get my famous picture, I'll do it. Vain glorious Alex, as I like to call him.
So I briefly flipped Paul and then lost him, and I got Chad to go from bottom tier to middle tier for this book.
Oh,
so
I'll
call that a win.
Yeah, totally. Kevin, I love the fact that these books can make us feel different things. It probably means they're art.
That's the podcast, baby.
That's the podcast, baby.
That's the buds.
That has been a podcast, baby.
Whoa.
That's the tagline for our show. It probably means it's art.
I think that's been good. Hey, if you want to support this show and get access to bonus content, special episodes where we hang around the campfire and talk about what's been on our minds, go to patreon.com/goosebuds. Your support keeps the lights on in this metaphysical podcast studio.
I just want to say we got a lot of nice responses to our last Camp Goosebuds. We generated a lot of discussion on the Discord, I saw. And I thought that was cool. We didn't really talk about anything wild, just like exploring new tank top options for Kevin. And
listen, Kevin, we're talking about your arms and showing off more skin. It's going to get conversation going.
Yeah, it's a conversation starter.
Yeah, when you bring those guns out, we're gonna get talking.
You can also follow us on Twitter at GoosebudsPod or email us at goosebuds@gmail.com. We've gotten some very, very juicy emails from people about ghost writers and which RL's gotten credits on.
Have we?
I think we're about. Yeah, I hadn't told you boys about it yet. We got some good leads.
Oh my!
I don't even want to say. I don't even want to say where they're about or who, because every time we talk about them, the trail goes cold.
Oh,
we definitely have some stuff to cover in a mailbag coming up very soon.
Well, we'll discuss it. We will discuss it on our Camp Goosebuds episode, where we can be in the cloister of secrecy, where we can discuss these things.
I just wanted to say we've been teasing new merch for a while, and and we will continue to do so, but now it's closer than ever.
I would say if you're listening to this episode, it is worth, based on how fast you've listened to it, you go to goosebuds.store. There might be some new merchandise up there.
Maybe, we hope. We're very close. We're super close. It's going to be awesome.
We got to take some modeling photos, and we want to look good for you all. And it's just,
the edging is almost over. We will become wolves soon.
Yeah, wolf edge.
Raru.
Raru. To quote a web show, Raru.
Boys, thanks for being my friends and talk about.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being my friends.
And thanks for everyone for listening.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Raru.
Raru. This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters. We shall read you their names now.
The Book of Names!
Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara.
Hollis Hornbeak.
Cameron Murphy Audio.
Michael McDowell.
David Cron.
Josh Robertson.
Mickey C.
Nathan Dolezal.
Clayton C.
Mike Lanterry.
Buddy Morrill.
Ale Cade.
Mel Dipson.
Jim Greaves.
Danky McStanky.
Af Sheen.
Aaron T. Strunk.
Dango Twists.
Brian Wells.
Mr. Zen Tackles. Love
it. Stealth Bates.
Becca McWilliams.
Joseph Miranda.
Patrick Reynolds.
Scott Colopy.
Robert Moon.
Jason Crooker.
John Keaty.
Low Belly Hate Me.
Clay Castle.
Miguel Pardo.
Christina Doling.
Third Sergio.
Galf.
Matthew the Necro Fan Mail Nomicon.
Oh yeah. Sniggy.
Reinfected.
Maddie.
Ishak Arafin.
Gregory D. Warren.
Alan Saylor.
Sam Hash.
Cody Redfield.
Dappio.
Rich Hillborn.
Bradford Coulter.
Aiden Alexander Diaz.
Jar Jar Slinks.
Joshua Jacobwitz.
Justin Wagman.
Chosen One.
Cardboard Walk.
Leatherthan.
Up and Champ.
Jonas Engman.
Jonas Blotterman.
I love the Jonases are together.
The Jonas Brothers. The Jonas Brothers.
Alicia Grafe.
Trent Davis.
Maloyster.
Carl.
Hey, Paul. Pause for a second. I got something I got to get off my chest. I know what it is. You've left it this way. Give me something new to say. I love broccoli. I think I love broccoli.
I like that being half just Paul in there.
I like that I screwed it up, too. I was like, I know what it is. And then I said the wrong thing. Like, idiot.
The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Elusive Koala.
Yanni Markovina.
J-Bug.
Joe.
Brooke X.
Corey Shelley.
Jesus Christ.
Christian Van Skeever.
Drew Applegate.
Paul Grasso.
Transrix.
Jeremy Lowe.
Brian Hobgood.
Taylor Dierks.
Joe, remember to save early and often, Scott.
Slumlord Onion.
Jordan Lockwood.
Foolish for Deborah.
Zach Connor.
Trendy Moron.
Patreon _ donator. Shit. Patreon _ donator, comma, yo.
Perfect, nailed it.
Got it.
Joe, Spooky Digital Ghost. Tierney.
Perfect read. Toothless Barry the Whistler Bostowitz.
Tom Whittam.
Connor Church.
Vincent Modica.
Luke Canoodles.
Hugh Bolin.
Zam Bambino.
Kevin Hamilton.
Andrew Low Belly Hate Me is a name that always makes me smile when I hear it. Jadsack. Okay, is this a shout out to another person in the book of names? I love it.
The book has become aware.
The book is now a very slow messaging service.
Lord Cornwallis.
Elizabeth Steenweg.
Cardamom Birkenbino.
Andrew Evans.
Tevin Ticklebean lives.
Good Cahoots.
John the Howling-Eyed Duda.
Nathan Remick.
Divaldi.
Sness Chalmers.
Sean Minogue.
Wormtown Glenn.
Wiggle It.
Reed Stubbenbeak.
Luke LaFountain.
John.
Or Luke LaFontaine. I don't know.
Ooh.
John Pigeon Hat Barber. Or John Pigeon Hat Barber.
Joey Evans.
Paul, watch out! Slink is behind you.
Chip.
Did I get you?
Handsome. You did. You got me really good.
Matt McClellan.
Stinklich.
Carewise. Gam G.
Dylan McCann.
Swaggy YOLO Squire.
Cameron Henson.
Alex Moon, the robotic dog.
Sarah Kemp.
Jack Frazee.
Tanya Turtle.
Chili Dish Gambino.
Generally depressing.
Etona Moore.
Brat.
Yeah.
Ben Bohan.
Adam, you goofed.
Juan Jalapena.
Dan.
Chris Pittman is a bone wizard.
Baz Gerritsen.
Hey, Eric, it's gonna be all right. You're doing a great job.
Doing a great job, Eric.
Love you, Eric.
Good job, Eric.
Muscles Bear.
When dragons rule.
Noah August.
Keith Halcrow.
Dakota Campion.
Chris. Haunted Pajama Boner Nelson.
Oh, man, that triggers some
That's the
sleepover
worst.
Timothy Misodulakis.
Nata S.
Clay McCarty.
Jonas Enna Voldsen.
And Evolts. Calamity Carl. What's up, Carl?
Matthew Stevens.
Germ Juice.
Kevin Boucher.
Parker Lee.
Nick Johnson.
Hambo.
Commiserate is a fun pun, but I don't know a good place to use it.
You found it.
I mean, you found it right here.
Yep.
Stephen Day.
Raymond Hernandez.
Flemily.
The Crow Fens.
Matthew Sutton.
Kate and Franklin.
Oh.
Patrick Murphy.
Jeffrey Owen Cawhey.
Ryan Carroll.
Jeremy Bowser.
Tori Catherine.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
Megan McCormick Mason.
Chase.
Lee Wood.
Russell Kasberg.
Xavier Jimenez.
Brendan Arafin.
Liam Neeson's Doe.
Chris Prutragus.
Ninja Breadman.
Hood Lemon.
Scotty Pippen, baby.
Carter Glass.
Cody Tromler.
Sunset Streak.
Meet Virginia.
Got little old moi pretty freaked.
Ryan Knight.
Adam Muth.
Dungeon Kappa.
Dr. Chocula.
Grammaticus Gore.
Jimmy Soul.
Ida.
Peanutberg level 69.
Watch out. MC Hamster.
Zach Ware.
Tamjid Munir.
Alan G. Jasone.
Hey, what's this? Kevin Cole.
That's
Kevin
not
Cole!
me. That's not me.
What the hell's Kevin Cole
Kevin.
doing in here?
What? I mean, is it me? I think I am a backer. I don't know if I can. I don't
Did
know
you
if I back
forget
the
to
level in McCoy.
unsubscribe?
Maybe it's me or maybe it's someone.
This is some sort of conflict of interest, and I like it.
This is
And
the
I'm here for
this is the meme with the two Spider-Mans.
Except they're throwing money at each other.
Yeah.
Wait, whose turn is it?
Paul said Kevin Cole, so I'll say Tobias Clark,
Michael Kupka.
Julian Lamendia.
Brendan Neal,
Moon Juice.
Andre Villanueva.
F.W.,
Kelly the Barbarian.
David Emerson.
Aaron Lord,
Cody Selman.
David Sandoval.
Daniel Keith Kieran,
B.
Latanzi.
Courtney Green,
Several upset horses. Watch out.
They'll get you. Estamena, Lord of Paul's Pants.
All hail.
All hail, he has the pants.
Robert Allen Cook the Third.
Sudakis.
The Davy Boy.
Kenny M.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Alec Foisey.
Ashley Northup.
Liz with an asterisk implying there's something else that we don't know about.
What can I mean?
Footnote.
It's a wild card. Esther Shanks.
Redemption.
Dr. Diarrhea.
XX Epic Gamer 42069 XX Smith. I read it as intended that time.
Kieran McNamara.
Diet Soda.
Quigley Jones.
Jackie Ledoux.
Coleman Laguza.
Sad Star.
Continue?
Wait,
Whoa,
we're in here too?
On?
What is
what's happening?
The book has gone a little crazy this week.
Chris?
60...
Chris, you're in here?
Chris, who? 69, Pauly Shore, 311.
Levi Kidder.
Jacob.
Matt Skellyman.
Bryce Deary.
Matthew Bratato.
I am Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
Still funny.
Ooh.
It's always good.
Wagmar Wigmere.
Nice job.
Dakota Camp.
Welcome, Tarf.
Rob T.
Rian De Bruhin.
Jake.
Carb Son.
Oh, I love you, Carb Son. Get in my belly.
Me too.
Luke Human Z. Allen.
Humancy's in here too. Zach Cohen. I don't know if these are new people.
I can tell you, this is new. This is
Okay,
Joey
okay,
Reinish from
okay.
LLJK. Yeah.
Oh, we got a new. Oh, hello.
Oh, these are new, probably at least. Yeah.
Welcome to the Book of Names.
Hello. Welcome, Joey Reinish.
Yes.
Yes. Joey Reinish.
Yes. And welcome, Reese McKinney.
And welcome to all of some of Chad's Bird's friends.
Hey, who let you in here, Josh Howell?
Josh
Hey,
Al,
don't let
hey.
any guy in this place.
Who let this guy out?
I remember my first beer. Doesn't even apply to this.
We honored him the best we could with that
We
statement.
did. He's a goddamn zealot, I'll tell you that. Nicholas Maloney.
Welcome, Kiwio Flurbit.
Welcome, Bjorn, dear.
And welcome, Serial Killer X. Watch out.
The Book of Names, it'll eat you.
Thank you all so very, very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
We love
you.
you.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.